happen. If anything, it'll go the other way around. They'll leave the wizard and they'll come to listen to this. So,
but you know what? We're going to find out, Kevin, because you know what?
Find out.
Brothers and sisters, we are live. Welcome, greetings, salutations, respect, and love. Oh, my goodness gracious. Welcome to the Prog Corner, boys and girls. What a beautiful day it is. It is Sunday, and I have got a bevy of guests. I am so excited. First of all, I have got the great Kevin from Prog Radio. He is here with us. We are simulcasting live on Prog Radio today. Which of your two radio stations is this airing on, Kevin?
You can't hear that echo, can you? Okay, good.
No,
I can hear it. I can hear the simulcast. I'll figure that out.
Okay.
But it's on the Crimson Hall. Oh, you can hear it.
I can't hear it right now, but I could.
Okay, good.
But yeah, that's cool. You know, he's got not one but two radio stations going. Kevin's the busiest guy in the prog world right now, trying to make sure the airwaves are filled with nothing but great prog content. And a new inclusion is a new album called Forever 1310 by a band called Ageless. I had never heard of these guys. I'm embarrassed. I have to admit. So we had to have them here on the Prog Corner talking about the new album. It's Elliot Rogers and Wayne Ferris. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us on, Scott.
And we're going to get back to you in a minute. We're going to talk all about your brand new album. But I've got a brand new guest on the show from Live Prog YouTube channel is Marcel. Marcel, how are you, sir? Welcome to the Prog Corner.
I'm very good. Thank you, Scott. It's an honor to be in the Prog Corner.
Oh, man, it's an honor to have you back. I know you went dark for a little while, but your channel is doing strong. I don't want to hear about any quitting. I know it's tough out there. Quitters never win. Winners never quit. And somebody who knows a little bit something about that just might be the one and only Brent Bristow from Emerald City Council, boys and girls.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Brent. Hey, Brent. How you doing, man?
Woo!
Awesome. I had the shirt on today.
Brent, why are you here today?
Well, I'm here to support my friends Wayne and Elliot, who are a couple of friends from the Radiant School. I met about, almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago.
Yeah, 2020.
And I have to admit, so I'm going to admit something, Kevin, and I want you to forgive me for this, but I was unaware of Prog Radio until Elliot turned me on to it. So he is the one who said, hey, you need to check out Prog Radio. So thank you,
Elliot,
for that. We appreciate that.
No problem. I tried to spread the word.
Yeah, and Elliot also asked me to do a sax track on the new album, so I do appear on the new album.
There you go. We knew there had to be some kind of a connection. There it is, right there.
He did an unbelievable
play
job
on this thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job. It was a beautiful sax. So he had actually spoken to me when we started the album, or actually right before we started, and I was kind of hoping that we would have been able to get in touch with him, but we got so busy, never even thought about it, and we were wrapping it up, and he rushed in that solo at the very end as we were getting ready to mix the album. So we really appreciate it, Brett.
Yeah,
you did a great job.
Oh well, thanks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I recorded it right here where I'm sitting right now.
Wow. Well, we've had a lot of comments on what a beautiful solo it was.
Oh well, great. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, Elliot, we've got viewers from around the world, and they're probably wondering, what is that accent? What's your background? Where are you at right now, man?
I have an accent?
I detect an accent.
Well, we're from Massachusetts. Wayne and I are both from Massachusetts. We probably live two miles apart, Dartmouth, Massachusetts. So what was the other part? Where are we from, and what was the other question?
Talk to me about you guys, how you met, how the band formed, what your musical, the whole spiel. Give me the Ageless bio.
All right. So should I go right to birth, or should I?
Yeah, all the way. How you were weaned. I was weaned on Gettleman's beer, by the way. Nothing worked. The milk didn't work. The soda pop didn't work. The water didn't work. The orange juice didn't work. The only thing that would get me off of that thing, man, was beer. So we can go all the way back, as far back as you want.
All right. Well, my parents met in 1947. No, that's too far. So, anyways, and they dated for a while. Wayne and I actually met around 19.
Man, I just took a drink, man. Don't...
I was going to get into details, but anyways, Wayne and I met around 75, 76. That's 1975, 76. And we actually was a band called Asylum, and Wayne was actually running lights, and they asked me to sing. And actually, I was at a party, and a friend of mine leaned over. He was all stoned and said, "Hey, you want to sing in a band?" And that's how that started. And Wayne used to fill in on drums because the drummer was absent quite frequently. And then eventually the drummer disappeared and Wayne filled in. And we've pretty much been together for the last 49 years. We had a brief went our own way briefly for a couple of years in the 90s. But other than that, we've been together for 49 years. We've had a plethora of guitar players, right?
Yes.
Am I talking too much?
No.
Oh, okay. So we've had a plethora of guitar players, a lot of great musicians. We did a lot of studio work in the 80s and early 90s. And then like halfway through the 90s, we decided to start doing cover tunes, and we played out for years. And when the pandemic struck, the guitar player, which we've had a lot of guitar players, and the guitar player at the time kind of disappeared because of the pandemic, and it kind of silenced everything going on like with everything else. So Wayne and I started working in the studio, and we were having difficulty getting a guitar player in here. So I actually sent a track to a friend of mine, Pete Rivet, and he put a little bit of guitar in there, but he was busy. He had his own life. And I listened to it. I'm like, I think I can do that. So I started fooling around with the guitar. I'd been a bass player my whole life. And live, I'd do the keyboards and the vocals and stuff. And I started working on the guitar, and Wayne and I started working on it together. And that's basically what happened. So pretty much it's me and Wayne now. When we play out live, we hire different musicians to fill on the parts that I can't. I only get two arms, unfortunately.
And have guests. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not multi-talented like Elliot. I just kind of play the drums. I beat up things. I hit things in percussion and drums, basically, and he does the rest.
Well, but
Elliot, I am really glad, because now I am officially able to nominate you into the very, very, very prestigious Andy Edwards Bald Bass Player Club. It's a very prestigious club where you have the likes of the Tony Levins and the John Jowitts of the world. Wow. We can now put Elliot Rogers in that camp too. It's outstanding.
My mother would be very proud.
Oh yeah. You're in the Hall of Fame now, buddy. It's awesome.
Well, Wayne, don't let Wayne fool you. He doesn't just play drums. He's very involved in all the aspects of recording these albums. He's a major part in all the ideas and stuff.
So this is your fourth album. It's called Forever 1310. Tell me a little bit about the meaning behind that and the inspiration. I guess it was based on some kind of movie or something. I forget. I read it, and I'm old, so refresh my memory. What's the storyline here?
So it was actually Michael Stoltz from the Flower Kings, a bass player. He actually posted on Facebook about a year and a half ago. So just a suggestion, if anybody's looking for a good series to watch, a Netflix series. So I started watching it, and then we spoke back and forth about it a few times, and I loved it. And I brought the idea to the name of it was All the Light We Cannot See. It was a Netflix series, also a novel by Andrew Dorr. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but I showed it to Wayne, and he thought it was a great idea, and we decided to run with it and base the album on it, because most of the stuff we do is like conceptual albums. So Wayne, I'm a little self-conscious now. I really have an accent.
Maybe a little bit.
All right. But anyways, Wayne was on board with it, and we started working on it. And it was really a lot of fun. I mean, it was nice to be based on something. Normally, we write conceptual albums, but not on real story type things. I mean, that's not a real story, but it is a story that we didn't come up with. So It was kind of nice, and everybody seemed to be on board. And actually, Jerry Goodrose, who does all of our mixing and mastering and producing, who works with Neil Morse all the time. In fact, he recorded Similitude of a Dream and most of Neil's albums.
Yeah, a lot of them. And according to Mike Reese here in the comment section here, apparently Neil was a fan of the book also.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
But I mean, it's weird. 'Cause we told Jerry, he was actually almost done mixing it, and we told him what it was about, and he was like, "Oh, that makes sense." We told him like 7 o'clock on Friday night, and on Saturday morning, he said, "Oh, I watched the whole thing," and it's like a 4 or 5 hour series. So I mean,
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun, and it's been well received. We had the artwork on the album cover done by Thomas.
Yes.
I can't pronounce. Do you know who it is?
Thomas Everhart.
Thank you. I didn't want
Oh,
to.
Thomas Everhart, you are, dude is so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Sola Scriptura, speaking to Neil Morris.
Oh, all the Sparks of Beard stuff.
Yeah, man, but that might be one of my favorite album covers of all time, man. Thomas Everhart does an incredible job on this album, by the way.
Well,
do we have artwork we can pop up here?
I do. I'm just reaching for it.
Thank you for pronouncing his name correctly, because I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, he according to Neil, he used to be a guy that worked exclusively for Inside Out, and now he branches out. He does a lot of different stuff, but that artwork, man.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Really cool.
Awesome.
Really good stuff.
That's the
And
cool artwork.
what else do you want to tell us about it before we listen to a track?
Well, it's all basically done in this house right here.
Yeah, it's right in this room.
And
Yeah.
so it's not like we're in this professional studio, but we've come a long way since then. From the 80s to now, everything's changed. We just had to learn the whole digital thing,
Yeah, well,
which is pretty cool compared to what we used to do, splice
Right.
and tapes and things like that. Cassettes, forget it. And reel to reel, nobody knows about those anymore,
Yeah, what's that?
So,
yeah, we're using Logic Pro X for recording. We used to use like 8-tracks, eight track recording studios and stuff like that. So when we had a 24 track Mackie deck, but I mean the Logic Pro X is just so easy to work with. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, so
And
the
it's-
sounds are getting there now.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, you could basically just download the files to Dropbox and send them off to Tennessee, and Jerry sent back an album. It's fantastic.
There you go.
Can't thank him enough.
And Brent threw in a few sacks along the way.
I
So
wish I
Kevin,
got in touch with him earlier.
nice. What are we going to listen to first, Kevin?
We're going to listen to The Stone from the new album. Here we go.
Awesome.
Can you hear it all right? Let me know if I need up or down.
Maybe turn it up a little.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Better?
Not the same. It's good.
Oh, okay. Their voice is really loud.
Better?
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
A precious stone,
Always say thank you.
the sea of flames. If you can give me now, I will remain inside the penthouse, wherein it lies. The treasure of
I could say Wayne's Drug means a long way. I mean, it's always good. All four of their albums are great, but every one gets better, Wayne, I think.
cannot see. Now my father has to leave for just one day, but I must stay. And maybe they'll stop looking for me.
Elliot definitely has one of those voices. You hear it, you know who it is.
I hope that's good. I'm not sure.
That is always good, in my opinion. Unless you're Yoko Ono.
I was going to do an interpretive dance to this.
Feel free.
about.
I love the drums way up front.
Yeah, that's very good.
You don't need no stinking guitar player, Elliot says.
Our guitar sounds great. Love these solos.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. The bass solo on the guitar.
Everyone knows that bass players make better guitar players than guitar players trying to play bass.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody said that out loud, okay?
It's a fact. It's a known fact. Ask Scott G. Davis from Mythologic, right? He knows about that.
Of course, this is a compilation, so it kind of goes into the next song.
Yeah, everything runs into the next one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love the synth sound there. That sounded very Genesis-like. But the song didn't sound like Genesis. So I appreciate how we can pick and choose little different parts of different bands that I'm hearing. Very cool. Where does that sit in the running order of the album?
That's number 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I heard them say something about the girl from 1310. I'm like, is that almost like a title track almost?
That's the second track, I think, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. That is right.
Oh, there is a title
It
track.
pretty much does the whole story of the series.
You mentioned the Genesis thing. It's funny because we always wrote music, and as writing, you don't want to consciously sound like somebody else. You try not to. You want to sound like yourself. But after listening to music for so many years that we've listened to music, we are a result of what we've listened to. So I mean, we kind of, I think we kind of embraced it. We kind of didn't want to do that, but when we started working at Neil's, you kind of realized, it's a badge you should be wearing rather than something you should be hiding.
That's right. Yeah. And it got real weird there for a while too, where nobody wanted to say the dreaded four-letter word that is prog. It was like a kiss of death. Nobody would want to listen to your music. Promoters wouldn't want to book your band. It was just something you would hide, the fact that you actually listened to Close to the Edge more than one in your lifetime.
Well, I mean, we years ago, like in the 80s, we wrote original music, and lo and behold, apparently it was prog. We didn't even know at the time, but we knew we weren't working.
Yeah.
That we
Not
knew.
too many places like this.
You weren't playing Bruce Springsteen, you weren't working. So
Yeah, there you go. That's how it is on the East Coast, man.
Oh yeah.
That sounded awesome. And I think the theme of this episode is that there are so many great bands out there, unknown bands that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, until a couple weeks ago when Kevin brought you guys to my attention, I had never heard of Ageless. So there's a ton of bands out there that nobody's ever heard of that need some love, that need some attention. So I invited my good friend Marcel from Live Prog. He's going to rip through real quick. He's going to rip through 10 bands that you need to know about, but you probably don't know about. Marcel, I'm going to make you big, so don't get all scared when your big old head.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go, Marcel. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. First of all, I mean, it was really great to hear that track from Ageless. I'm amazed that this is your 4th album, and it's the very first time I ever hear of your music. But I gotta say, it sounds really great. I want to hear more. And I have a little bit of a thing for unknown bands. I mean, that's pretty much throughout the history of live prog, I've been promoting a lot of unknown bands towards hopefully a greater audience. And I picked out a bunch, and I figured if we're talking obscure bands, obscure prog, what's more obscure than Dutch prog? So I got a couple of really great Dutch bands that I think that really deserve a bigger audience. One of these bands is Time Lock, a Dutch neo-prog band. I gotta say, sort of a disclaimer. I discovered prog in the early '90s, so I am pretty much grown up with the neo-prog genre. But these guys are around since the late '80s under a different name, The Last Detail. And in the early '90s, they formed the band Time Lock. In 2008, they kind of stopped. Went away for 13 years, and a couple of years back they returned. And this is their latest album. It was released like a week ago. And this is, to me, their best album. And when you say about these influences, it's interesting. There's one track on this album, I was listening to it, and the guitar intro was just like Empty Spaces from Pink Floyd's The Wall. And I checked it with a guitar player, and he said that it was completely by chance. He didn't intend to it, but it was a nice touch to it, and that you can see how the influence can seep through. But this is really, it's very melodic. They have 3 singers, one lead singer and 2 lady backup vocals. One of them sings lead vocals as well. This is really awesome. Highly recommended, this one.
Okay.
Another Dutch band that's also been away for about 11 or 12 years is Casual Silence. This is their last album, which was released, I think, somewhere in 2010. And this is really melodic stuff. And this is also a band with multiple singers. They have one of the guitar players sings, they have a lead singer, and the bass player sings. They create a really amazing sound, and it was a real shame that they kind of stopped. And they're back, and they're also working on new material for a new album. So it's really nice to see them back. So again, this is definitely worth checking out.
I forgot all about them.
Yeah, they're really great. A band that I discovered, early this year, Armed Cloud. This is also their 4th album, by the way. I went to their album presentation. This is more of the heavier stuff. This is more prog metal. I gotta say, they did a very impressive live show. They have a really powerful singer. He doesn't look like a metal singer, but when he's on stage, he's really good. And again, these guys make some great music. It's heavy. Their previous 3 albums are a little more softer. There's more prog rock. But this one is definitely, very heavy prog metal. I see some mentions in the comments about my my T-shirt. There you go. Also Eden. This is their last album, Redacted. Then they kind of stopped. But this one is their 2nd album. It's kind of you to ask. They did 2 albums with the singer Hugh Lloyd-Jones. Then the singer left. The band got another singer, Rich Harding. They recorded 1 EP and 2 albums. And then it became quiet. But like a week ago, they performed in the Netherlands. And I visited them. And that's why I got this shirt. And I did an interview with them, which will be on my channel somewhere soon. But these guys are also working on a new album. And they have the singer from this one. Oh, there you go. Also Eden, Hugh Lloyd-Jones back in the fold, which is really nice. I'm going back to the Dutch bands. This stuff. This is really awesome stuff. These are rock operas by a Dutch guitar player, Mark Bogert. I know Mark Bogert for a long time. He started out with a band called Penny's Twisted Sister. Which is pretty good. Or Penny's Twisted Flavor. I keep mixing up those names. But he first of all, this one, he made a rock opera, a 2 CD set about Jack the Ripper with a huge cast. Very impressive. Also musically, it's really impressive. They did live shows with this where they also had costumes and everything. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see them yet. But in January, I'm going to see them. And this one is their 2nd one. It's also at the Haunted Mansion. Also a beautiful rock opera with, again, a very impressive cast in musicians and singers. So, this is, if you like rock operas and that kind of things, then check out Magoria. Pretty cool. An album I haven't heard enough. yet is My Arrival, Lost Embers. It's due to be released in November 29th. I got a copy from the band because they are also doing the production and the release of the Armed Cloud albums, but they also got their own band. It's just a 3-piece band. This music is more like Pink Floyd-y, David Gilmour, RPWL, especially when I was listening to it, the vocalist sounded a lot like Yogi Lang. This is more melodic stuff, very atmospheric, very calm, very quiet, very beautiful. So yeah, definitely good stuff. This one came on my radar. Captain of the Lost Waves. I got this one in the mail, and I had never heard of him, but he had a couple of albums out. This was really something that I never heard of before. It is, I don't know if it's real prog. He's more described as a troubadour. It's just, you know, mainly acoustic work. They had some synthesizers and some violin in it. The man behind this, Sean Hunter, he had an accident, which took him a lot of time to recover. It's a pretty big story. And in that recovering process, he wrote this music. And I gotta say, I was really surprised when I was listening to it. This is completely different, but I found it very, very beautiful, very touching music. So yeah, this is very interesting if you're more into the more acoustic material. Where are we? Number 9, I believe, right?
Okay.
Philharmon, a Dutch-US band project, actually. This is their 3rd album. It's a Dutch composer, musician. He works with a US-based vocalist, Guy Pfeiffer. I'm not sure where he's based, but it seems that like once every 6 years, they release an album. Which is it's really beautiful. Every album is, again, it's just these 2 guys, but they invite a lot of their friends to add. So this one also has multiple vocalists. It's really beautiful, progressive rock, very melodic stuff. So it's I gotta say, I got a review on my channel if you're more interested in this one. Check it out. And yeah, the last one is I wanted to include it. I didn't know Brent would be on it, but I mean, everybody should know this one, but I wanted to mention this one as well because this is the place where I discovered this album. And I'm really happy that I did because this is an amazing album. I definitely love it very much. I saw your video, Scott. I thought I wanted to have a copy of the album. I got a copy and I did a review myself. And well, I had the pleasure to have Brent on a live stream on my channel as well, which was a lot of fun. So this is my number 10 for obscure bands that everybody should listen to.
Yeah, Brent makes a pretty good guest. We have him on here every now and then.
The check will be in the mail for you.
There you go. Hey, just wait. You know, Brent, we need to talk before I put out my year-end list episode.
Okay.
Get your checkbook out. Yes, sir. Oh, Marcel, that was an outstanding segment. Your debut in the Prog Corner, and you absolutely knocked it out of the park. That was outstanding. I love it. But, we're being rude to our guests, Ageless. I think we should hear another song off the new album, Kevin. What are you queuing up for us here?
Kevin, do you have access to everything there?
I can get to any of them. I got the 3 that we talked about, but you want to play something different?
Well, I was thinking, I didn't realize Brent was going to be on. It'd be nice to play the one that he has a sax solo in.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's play the one I got ready to go, and then I will find that little beautiful sax. I was thinking, you got to make people go buy your album or listen to your album, and they don't get it all here, but I agree. They need to hear Brent solo, so we'll get that.
Yeah.
That's one of our problems as well. And we spend so much time recording and playing music, and we have our day jobs that we really don't promote much at all, unfortunately. So that's why. Yeah, that's never heard of us.
That's some of the best bands. They're spending so much time making the great music. We had last time on here Samurai of Prague. They got 8 billion albums, and yet not everybody knows their stuff because they're so busy. They got their head down every 8 months. Here comes a new album. So Ageless definitely falls into that category where it's all about the music, and they got to have people like Scott and I tell the world how great it is.
Yeah, they need champions.
We're grateful to you guys because other than that, my wife doesn't even know what album I played.
Okay, so here's track 10 off the new album, and it's called I Will Carry On.
See, here's my relative pick. The only note I can pick out is
You know, intros like this get me excited right away.
nothing good.
Brent plays radio waves, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Interesting.
I like that.
I always love it when they do. When you think the music is going in a certain direction and then they take a turn.
I need that in my music. I gotta have that. If you don't surprise me at least once, I'm not. Yeah. Why you hold my interest? The love for Wayne keeps pouring in.
Once I said, ask me again, and I would come with you. So please ask me again, will you come with me into the world? From now on, it will be me. We have much to do, and I will be the one who leads you to the sea. Carry on and finish what we started. She never gave up on me. Once she knew I could take her place. Even though I gave up on myself for you, I will carry on without you. It won't be easy, but I will carry on. Please come home. I'm scared and alone. Where have you gone? The radio is all I have. You are the one I know from 1310.
You just never know.
It's a good thing I know this album. I would have stopped it there, but I know.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part. Where to start it? Not on vinyl, unfortunately. You need to buy a lot of vinyl.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's where it costs.
Okay, because it's going to fade over.
Yeah, that goes to the next one.
Crossfade there to the
Oh.
next one. Man, I love that pedal
Wow.
point, that E pedal point there. So cool, and that change that where it starts getting heavy there at the end of that track. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. Love that one. That's got a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of snap to it. I think people were commenting to the energy level at the drummer being in the pocket, and yeah, that's nice, especially when he's way up high in the mix. Wayne, amazing, very, very cool track. I'm impressed by that one. I like that one a lot.
Was,
Yeah,
was that a patch for the trumpet or
That was
Elliot?
a trombone,
I don't
right?
know.
What
That was the trombone, actually.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I heard
What was that,
it
man?
there.
Yeah, I think it was a trombone, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's all in Logic Pro, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no actual real people on it.
Right.
I thought you were a
Well,
closet
just
trumpet
step-
player.
Brent's the
I
only
use
one
this
with the
finger
sax.
right here. This finger. I wish we had around here. Is to try to find a musician.
Well, the drums are live. The drums are acoustic.
There
Yeah,
you go.
the drums are acoustic drums.
Yeah.
You know, Elliot, we answered to people's questions about vinyl, but people are asking where can they get a hold of your music if they like it. Obviously, I'll put this information in the description. I should have done that already, but I'm an idiot. But I'll do that after the fact, I promise. So where can we get a hold of your music? Where can we buy this brand new Ageless album?
So if you were looking for a CD, the only way you'd be able to buy it is actually, I can give you an email address. They could send me an email with their address, and I would send them a CD.
Okay.
So you want the
Just
email
stream it.
address?
Yeah, let's do it.
And
So
so on
it's-
streaming, it's on Spotify,
Yeah. So it's
Apple.
ELL4295@gmail.com.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to buy a CD, now as far as streaming, it's streaming on 37 platforms here. Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, Amazon Music, you can buy it on.
Okay.
Apple.
All their albums.
Yeah, all their albums are on that. They're
So all the
streaming.
usual suspects there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, man. Outstanding. People are starting to talk about their favorite obscure acts. I've been seeing the Rogue Project on a couple places there. Kevin, you got any thoughts about any obscure
Well,
rock bands that people should know about?
here's all I'll say. I thought we were going to go around and each do one or two. So I was going to do Ageless, of course. How could we not? I've enjoyed them since their first album. You can tell that they've gone through the master class with Neil Morris because it's just got all that nice Neil Morris-y stuff in there, which I love. But all four of their albums are great. And I think some of the strongest part is the songwriting. Just really melodic, great songs for two guys pumping this out. It's really good stuff. The only other band that I was thinking we were going to do too was Different Light from Czech Republic. They've got 4 albums. They're all great. That last album, The Sun Part 1, and they got Part 2. They're working on Part 2 right now, which is great, is phenomenal, I think. The singer sounds a lot like Kevin Cronin. So you got to kind of get used to the REO Speedwagon vibe, but it doesn't matter. It's phenomenal music. And so that's one that people should, if they don't know about them, 4 albums, check them out.
Yeah.
The other thing you can is if you go to the Prog Radio website, we have our charts, and you can sort, like it defaults, obviously, number 1, Pink Floyd, on down, but you can pull down the drop down, change the reverse order, and it'll show the 1005th
That's a good
least
idea.
popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just start at the
Yeah.
bottom,
Yeah.
and I'm talking like Different Light, they're at number 712 or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Wow, that's
So
a good idea. And
it's a great way to
you
find
can
some
do
great
a-
music.
You can do a similar thing as you're going through the Prog Corner's video library. You can go onto my videos, and then you can click popular, least popular, oldest, youngest. I absolutely implore you to never hit that oldest to youngest button. You don't want to listen to the first 10 or 15 videos this boy did on YouTube. Absolutely disgustingly awful. I had no idea how to do YouTube. So much has changed. It's amazing how we grew up in such a fast time. But, Brent, I didn't really ask you if you had any contributions to this particular subject. So I'm going to give you a chance to chime in if you got anything.
Yeah. Well, I've got some stuff.
Awesome. Just right.
So I'm going to talk about friends.
Perfect, Kevin. That's perfect. Looks just like me.
Right. So, actually, thankfully, you guys shared this on social media last night that's what we were talking about. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I should think about some folks to put on there.
Oops.
So, of course, aside from Ageless, we have some other friends that I want to mention. Of course, we have to mention Myth of Logic. And, of course, another alum of the Radiant School that went there along with Wayne and Elliot and myself is Esteban and his group, Cheetos Magazine from Spain.
Yeah, definitely.
They've checked those out.
Ooh, good one.
Our friends 11 Wire, this Winter Machine. Al Winter's been a very good supporter of ours, and we are greatly, appreciate all of that and all he's done. Our label mates with Days Before Tomorrow. And then Echoverse, I played sax solo on their album this year as well. And those are a couple of guys from around. And one band that I want to talk about real quickly that people may not be aware of this, we're going to go way back to the early 70s. There's a group called Rayburn. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. So the story is they're actually an Arkansas band, an Arkansas prog band from the early 70s. And the story is that these guys got signed early on to a record label and started working with a producer out of Nashville, and then all of a sudden they didn't hear anything. Like they never got a call back. The label never heard anything. They couldn't get any return calls, and it turns out the main guy's dad, who apparently was fairly wealthy, didn't want his son to go off and be a rock star, so he went behind their back and bought out their contract. Yeah. So talk about something that could have been, and so they did re-record some stuff later, but these
evil. That's evil, Brent.
It is very evil. So anyway, it could have been a really great Arkansas prog band. So again, I'll put up that cover. This is available for streaming pretty much everywhere. You can check it out. It's self-titled. These are some demos they did. Very, very, Yes, Gentle Giant kind of influenced stuff.
You see, boys and girls, that's why he's a professor of music, and we're not. He's learning us real good here today. He's learning us up all about this obscure Arkansas prog. Maybe he teaches at the University of Arkansas, BB, or something like that. I don't know. Oh, man, Rayburn, huh?
Hey, by the way, Arkansas State. University of Arkansas is our competitor. You'll get me in trouble there.
Oh.
Yeah, my friend Harold Ott, who actually he works at the Arkansas Record and CD Exchange in North Little Rock, who's been carrying our album from the beginning. He re-released that Rayburn album on CD.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody's interested in that, send me a PM or contact me through the Emerald City Council website, and I'll point you in the direction of where you can pick that up. But it's available on Apple Music and any of that stuff, Spotify, anywhere. Check it out. It's some good stuff.
Awesome stuff. That's why you are the man. That's why you are indeed the professor of prog. They call Ken Golden that over on Sea of Tranquility. We used to call Neil Parrott the professor. We got a real professor here. That's all there is to it. So here's what we're going to do, boys and girls. I figure I'll just rattle off. I picked 10 at random. Like, I'm just like thinking, bands people need to know more about. And I just went through my vinyl and just pulled 10 without a whole lot of thought about it. So here's what I came up with. Oh, let's see here. You're going to like this one, boys and girls, from right outside of, they're from Nashville, Tennessee. I think, right? Yeah, it's Evership. This is Shane Atkinson and Bo West. They've got 4 albums out. This is the first one. Unfortunately, it's the only one on vinyl. The very next year, Evership 2 came out. And then their absolute masterpiece, The Uncrowned King Part 1. And then 2022, I think, Uncrowned King Part 2 came out. Unbelievable band. They're working on their 5th album now. I love them. Next up, another obscure American prog band. This one here, they're from Minneapolis, Minnesota. They just got signed to Apollon, so their second album was released on vinyl. This one here is called Mind Out of Mind. So cool. Imagine, if you will, like if Ambrosia had continued doing prog. Right? Their first two albums were real proggy, and then they got all like soft rock and awful. Imagine if they stayed awesome. Kind of what Kimono's all about. Really, really cool. I'm doing mostly new bands, but I had to throw a couple oldies in there, right? And the first of the oldies is Shylock. Oh man, French prog from the 70s. If you like dark, scary, King Crimson kind of sounding stuff. They put two albums out. This one here called the Geolorgies, and then their second album came out the following year. I think that was 76, Ille de la Fever or something like that. Amazing, 10 out of 10, both of them. Another modern prog album out of Norway. I have fallen in love with this band. It's Shamblemats. Oh, if you like the dark end of prog, maybe that King Crimson kind of sound, but this is a two-piece band with a whole bunch of guests, kind of like our guests today, Ageless. Shamblemats out of Norway, just incredible stuff. Information dense. It might be too much for some people, but I don't care. We're going back to France. One of my favorite albums of the last 10 years is JPL, his first of the Sapiens trilogy. My favorite album, 2022, I think this came out. I don't remember, but this is just unbelievable. He sings in French, right? But if you can imagine, I don't know, Thin Lizzy and Yes having a baby. It might be kind of like JPL. I love his direct style. Next up, we're going back to Scandinavia. I'm going with Magic Pie. Who's Magic Pie? Man, you need to know about Magic Pie. They've got two lead singers. One's like kind of got that perfect rock and roll voice. What's his name? Eric Hawkson. And then they've got another smoother, more proggy sounding singer. His name is Eric Hansen. What a great band, but it's led by their drummer who does he's not the drummer. Kim Stenberg. I think he's the guitar player, writes all their songs. Amazing. They got 5 albums out, and all 5 of them are great. Nobody talks about Magic Pie. Oh, and the singer for this band's in another band, Kurspink, another Norwegian band. Amazing. Gonna do an old one here real quick. It's Mandala Band. Oh, I love Mandala Band. What happens when an Egyptologist decides he wants to put out a prog album? He puts out this thing here. It's amazing. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Hasse Froberg, Musical Companion. Why does no one talk about this offshoot? Because
Awesome band.
Consider it an offshoot. So much more than an offshoot of the Flower Kings. Hasse Froberg teams up with Ola Strandberg, who is the drummer, and they write all their stuff. Ola does some of the singing. So it's just not an onslaught of Hasse. Incredible if you like more than Hasse Froberg, Musical Companion. I got 3 more from San Diego. It's Birth. Oh, from the ashes of Astra comes Birth. We need another album from these guys. Have we heard anything about this band, Kevin? Do we know if there's anything new coming from Birth?
No.
Incredible. Where's that second album, guys? And another. Oh, this is my last one. Okay, I like it. And we're doing finally an Italian album. Got to do at least one Italian album. Elucephalix. One of the great one-and-done bands of all time. Everything you want out of an Italian prog album. It's got the raspy Italian vocals. It's got the Hammonds and the Moog synthesizers. Just incredible. Oh, and the name of the album is Intorno alla mia cattiva educazione. I have no idea what that means, but I love the album anyway. I have you up some more Ageless, Kevin. What do you say?
All right. I think we should listen to Brent's guitar solo, or his guitar solo, his sax solo. I'm just going to go to the end of Radio Wave for the sake of time.
Yeah,
and that's where you hear this beautiful sax solo. So we'll jump around a little bit.
When I was young,
My only complaint, it was
Wasn't
so
long enough.
short, and it was only in that one part of the whole album. You should have used them a lot more.
It killed me because we didn't think about it until the very end. I'm like, oh my God, we should have got in touch with Brent.
And Brent was pretty busy too.
Yeah, and he was doing stuff. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
we got
we even got that.
But I'm,
Yeah, that was literally a week before the Advent Horizon show that I played with.
Yeah.
And saw. So,
I mean, we're so
Yeah.
grateful, though. So grateful he could do it.
well, the funny thing is Elliot, you only sent me like the 30 seconds that I played on, so I
Yeah.
had no idea what the rest of the song was.
Oh, sounds
So I was
good.
going, I hope this fits. I hope this
I was
fits.
trying to expedite the whole process.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, guys, there's a lot to be said about the less is more approach, not just to music, but to life in general, to all the artistic endeavors. In fact, the reason you only see the shark in Steven Spielberg's Jaws for about 14 seconds in the entire movie was because the doggone thing wasn't working. It kept malfunctioning. He wanted it splattered all over that movie. It was supposed to be on screen like a third of the actual movie, but he couldn't get the thing to work, and it actually worked to the movie's advantage because it made it 10 times scarier, right? Because your fear is actually, not seeing the shark, it's being afraid of the shark. That's the scary
Dun,
part.
dun, 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 dun. Would have been meaningless if you could see the shark.
So waiting for Brent's sax solo is analogous to the captain
Dun, dun,
and everybody
dun,
on that boat.
We
Waiting for that shark.
We almost made like 17 seconds of silence just before the solo. So, no, I'm just kidding. Just in preparation for it.
Now, people have mentioned a couple other bands in the comments. Our good friend Ian from Rhyme Signatures said if he's not seeing what's the name of the band? Hardo Sherpa from Finland, I think they're from. Amazing all instrumental band. Mentioned in this episode, he was gonna not be my friend anymore. So there you go. Hardo Sherpa. I love those guys, by the way. They need a second album. We could go on and on with this subject forever. That's why I thought this was a really good idea, Kevin. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think Elliot and Wayne have a couple. They played Haas Froberg, by the way, when they guest DJ'd.
Yeah,
so good on them.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
The guest video DJ thing worked pretty
Well,
good.
yeah, let's I'm going to make you guys big, and you guys can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as far as the topic of today's episode goes.
I'll go first. I guess one of the bands. It's called. I think it's Isles. That's I think you say it. AILES. Unbelievable. The drummer on there is just it freaks me out. He's like, wow. Wish I could play like that. But he's amazing. They just came out with a song called Dream. The Dream. It's the drumming on it is just fantastic. I like the whole. They've got quite a few albums. Actually, they all sound very good. There's also a weird band, IZZ. I think it's called Is.
Yeah.
They sound to me like Yes, drum and bass kind of combo like Chris Squire, Bruce.
Yeah, I love Is. Fantastic band.
Yeah, that's a cool band. And then I've been listening a lot to Lee Abraham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think him,
Yeah.
a lot like us. Has that keyboardish, guitarish, melodic kind of stuff. And of course, Neil's stuff there. He just came out. We did a couple. He did a couple with actually Chris Riley, I believe, from the Master Class.
And he's on the new album.
that
No Hill for Climbers.
And I'll let you take over. That's a couple of mine.
It's my turn. I need to do my homework. I just want to mention an old band, Klaatu.
Oh yeah.
I'm quite sure,
yeah.
and not many people are familiar with Klaatu. I mean, I'm a huge fan of that band. Thought some interesting facts about them, that they actually recorded majority of their stuff in Terry Brown's studio at nighttime when he wasn't using it. And I'm really fond of that band, and they have such a wide variety of sounds. It's insane. But
They've got some good solo stuff too. D Long and I forget the other one's name.
Yeah, some great stuff. I also wanted to mention something that's not been released but should be, is an alumni which Brent probably remembers, John Redfield. Remember John? Yeah. He did an album called "How Can You Smile," and I can send a link to Scott and
Yeah.
it's not released. He just made it just to do it. And I mean, it's just an incredible piece of work. I mean, it's like a symphony, and it's just everything. It's just unbelievable. And basically, that's all I got right now.
Nice.
Trying to teach you guys about prog is like trying to teach my cat how to catch a mouse.
Well, a lot of people were talking about Canadian prog in the comments, Kevin. So we're going to have to do a Canadian prog extravaganza here really, really soon. But next week, I've got a very special guest coming in. I don't know if Kevin's going to be a part of this or not. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. So, we'll see what happens. But next week, boys and girls, I've got the great Los Angeles two-piece Days Between Stations here. Special time. It's going to be at noon Eastern because, they live on the West Coast and, Brian, man, how early it would be. But that's Cipan Samzada and Oscar Fuentes Bills. They're putting out their fourth album. There seems to be a theme with fourth albums going on around here. But their fourth album drops November 29th. It's called Perpetual Motion Machines. This is a band that's had, Billy Sherwood and Rick Wakeman and Colin Moulding from XTC and just this whole incredible list of different people on their albums. So I'm going to be really excited to talk to these guys. And, whether or not we have Kevin from Prog Radio with us, that's a whole other can of worms, Kevin. But we'll see.
Keep him guessing.
Keep the whole world guessing. Marcel from Live Prog, his debut on the Prog Corner was today, and I'd say he acquitted himself quite favorably. What says you, Kevin?
Kevin? Kunt u het Nederlands spraken? Ik woonde te België voor 2 jaar en daar heb ik het Nederlands geleerd.
Wow.
So, but it was a long time ago. So I just rapped with him in a little Dutch. I lived in Belgium for a few years.
Oh,
Marcel, how was it for you today?
It was great. I loved it. It was such an interesting experience to listen to some songs that I've never heard of for the very first time live on the air and react to them and with the band present as well, which is a really nice experience. And it was nice to talk about some Dutch prog here, which was a lot of fun. And I had a great time. I loved it.
And, we have a good following. I think the Netherlands is probably my number 8 country, Kevin. So, anytime you guys want to just, go off on a tangent and talk in Dutch, it's absolutely fine. And yes, we were absolutely remiss in not mentioning the great, the one, the only Pete Sinfield died, I think the day before yesterday, the great lyricist and the founding member of King Crimson, also, helped with Emerson, Lake and Palmer as a lyricist. Just incredible. What a genius. Lost another great one lost, man. It's hurting my heart a little bit. Brent, Emerald City Council, just always a pleasure having you here. And like I said, get your checkbook ready.
Absolutely.
You don't need to pay me, Brent. You're going to be up there for me.
Appreciate that. We do have we're going to have a Black Friday sale coming up for anybody who's still wanting to pick up vinyl and CDs that hasn't done it. So check out our website for that. And also Noah is working on a Nashville gig early for next year for us. So keep your fingers crossed for that, and we'll hopefully announce that here. And also Thomas Everhard artwork on our album as well. That's a big connection we have. But I'm really proud to be getting back to the point of today's episode. I'm really proud to be on this album with Ageless. We had such a good time hanging out at Neil's last year or year before last, getting to know you guys, and very, very proud to be on this. And so far, I think this is my favorite of your albums. I think this is a really, really strong one, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Really appreciate that, Brent.
There you go. The new album is out, boys and girls. It's called Forever 1310. It's available on all your usual streaming suspects, your Spotify's and your Apples of the world, all that kind of technology stuff. You guys know what to do. I don't need to hold your hand on how to buy a record. It's I will put a link in the description, but come on, at some point, boys and girls, you got to put your big boy pants on, and you got to figure out certain things. I'm 51 years old, dude, and somehow, some way, I figured out how to, put a YouTube channel together. So, you can figure out how to go on the old internet and find this album and buy it because you absolutely need it. My absolute thanks to both Elliot and Wayne. You were absolute gentlemen putting up with all our wacky hijinks here. It was an honor having you on here, and the music sounded good.
Well,
Really.
Thank you very much. We're glad you guys invited us, and it's been a blast.
Thank you so much. And like I said, next week, man, it's going to be awesome. Days Between Stations. Check it out. And this time of year, November is rough, because I have to break down everything that's transpired because my year-end list is coming. I kind of jumped the gun. I'm like the first one, right? I am always the first one with my year-end list, so I always miss somebody in December. That's why I coach bands, and I take every opportunity to remind them, don't put your music out in December, man, because it ain't going to make nobody's year-end list unless you're, a big name like Opeth or something. They could probably get away with it. But so I'm actually working on my year-end list right now, so attention all bands, not just Brent Bristow from Emerald City Council. Any of you bands out there, get your checkbooks out. Your position on my year-end list is absolutely contingent upon who gets it. It is not actually, but I've got my dry run. This is my first take of my top 25. There you go.
I can freeze phrase that.
Oh, somebody will. Somebody's going to do that. But it's just my first go around. It'll switch up. But yeah, I'm actually working on it now because I don't know why, but it really, really matters to me. And something tells me Emerald City Council will definitely be part of that. But the rest of my time is going to be trying to go through all these albums that came out in 2024, listening to them all so you don't have to. Anyway, boys and girls, I will see you then. Peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, free the Ukraine, free Willie, free your mind, free everybody, free everything. And God save King Chucky. Oh, save King Charles III. That boy needs your saving, Kevin. You know he does. That boy needs to come to America where we got them good pastors. We're going to lay the healing hands of the faithful on that boy. Oh, I'm feeling it. It's a Sunday revival, Kevin. Oh, yeah. The Lord Jesus is with me. Absolutely. I kid you not. So we can do our thoughts and our prayers and our spells and our incantations. We can drink poison. None of that's going to hurt us because I got the armor of God. Not even the rattlesnake will get us, Kevin. No, sorry. We're going to dance with them snakes and we're going to be just fine. I'll see you. Peace.
See everybody.
See you guys later.